Well, hi there. I'm Diana Montford, the world's first transgender television journalist, born male, became female. You can see us on YouTube, shows dating back to 1991. Ooh. Anyway, my guest is stand-up comic, although he's sitting right now, Mr. Tom Paciaffi, who has won several prizes for his comedy, who is brilliant. I heard him at a club, and I thought he was so great. I had to ask him to be on the show. He is fantastic. You will love this man. He's really cool, and here he is, Mr. Tom Paciaffi.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, don't get above yourself. I haven't had you yet. Anyway, but I'm pumped. I've seen too many Mae West movies. Anyway, so let me ask you, how'd you become a comic?
I decided.
That's a joke. I would not. I do not cradle Rob. Okay, you were saying.
No, I took some classes, some Laughing Buddha classes. It's a comedy school because I just didn't know how to maneuver into it. I knew I wanted to try it, but I didn't know how.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Did you? But you had a comic sensibility, or you wouldn't have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, the typical everybody in your family says, "Oh, you're so funny, you should be a comic." It's like, sure. But I was like, what the hell? I'll give it a shot, you know? What's the worst that could happen? And
Exactly.
I ended up enjoying it and being pretty good at it.
Yes. Now, why don't you tell us about the prizes you won?
I won the 2017 Slaughter Stand-Up Tournament, which is a tournament up in Rockland County, New York, which is where I'm from. And then I just won Season 7 of Comics Watching Comics, which is on Amazon.
Okay, that is so impressive.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is great. Now, I've once heard you introduced as the goth comic, but you don't see yourself that way.
No, I'm more like a rock star Jesus.
There you go. There you go. So, what makes you want to do comedy?
I do it for me. I'm basically the same person on stage as I am off the stage, and I just think it's pretty cool to be able to make people laugh. Yeah. And truth be told, I enjoy it when people go, oh. Like
you like to push the envelope, test the limits.
I like to push the envelope, but it's not deliberate. Like, people will say to me, you're a shock comic. To me, that's when I'm deliberately thinking of things to make you like, oh, no.
Right.
I don't do that. I'm giving you my honest opinion and, stories from my life.
So now, do you improvise a lot? Or do you write your act and,
The way I would usually do it is when I'm writing a new set, is I'll write it out, and then I will literally just try to go word for word. That's how some people just will have, the name of the bit. And
right,
just
sure.
But
exactly.
I like to try to keep it as it is, and then eventually it evolves. It'll become shorter, or I'll add more things into it. So I'm really, specific with it. And
which is interesting because it seems totally off the cuff.
Yeah. And I don't really do the crowd work thing.
What do you mean?
That's when, if I would start, picking on somebody in the crowd.
Oh, right, sure.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't
think
like
that's
to do
very
that.
negative, yeah.
And it's also, there's too many variables that I have to contend with.
Yeah, like he might be a boxer.
Exactly. So I'd rather keep the variables and things that I can control. Unless if somebody's really getting under my skin, sure, I'll say something, but I don't just go around and go, oh, what do you do for a living? And then I don't want to do that.
How do you handle hecklers?
I've had a few hecklers. Either if they're some just nonsense, I just ignore it and I just keep going with my set. But if I'm doing bad and then they start heckling me, then I become kind of abrasive, and it's not the best way to handle it.
What do you mean abrasive?
Well, there was one show that I did, and the audience just was not believing anything that I said.
Right, bad night.
It was everything that could have went wrong was going wrong. At that point, I was in the middle of my divorce, but I was still wearing my ring, but I was talking about being divorced, and they're like, but you're still wearing your ring. And I'm like, you haven't let me get to that part of my set where I addressed why I was still wearing it. And then, I don't know what kind of language I can say on this show.
Wear anything.
Anything.
Fuck.
Okay, cool. So they're yelling at me. I'm yelling shit back to him. Somebody yelled something. I said, sit down. And he's like, oh, fuck you. And then they were booing me really hard. And they pulled me off stage early. And before I left the stage, I took the mic back. And I said, you can all suck my dick. And then I got off. Yeah,
I used to be a comic in the late 80s. I once did a set at Main Street, USA in Hackensack, New Jersey. And I used to do very much a sort of Mae West act. And this table of secretaries or school teachers, some very pure profession. They were sitting in front of a bunch of middle-aged women. And at my third joke, they said, the head bitch said, oh, she's filthy, let's go. And the owner ran over and said, oh, no. And I had to apologize to these idiots.
Yeah. No, I don't apologize. I've had people talk to me after the show. Like, there was one show I did at Levity Live, and I was doing my religious material, and then this lady goes, oh my God, you made fun of Jesus. I said, yeah, I did. I said, but you know what?
So did the Romans, don't worry about it.
But I said, I made fun of my mom, and I love her, and I made fun of my dad, and I love her, so why can't I make fun of him?
There you go.
And it was just, she had nothing to say at that point.
Anyway, I remember when Madonna first started wearing religious symbols as costume jewelry, people were outraged. It was ridiculous.
They look cool.
Yeah,
the
relax.
are cool.
It's a piece of metal, It symbolizes something, but, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so if somebody out there wanted to be a comic, what would you say to that person?
I would say, first you have to have tough skin, because it's a lot of rejection. And especially when you first start going to open mics, the majority of the audience is comics, and comics do not like to laugh at other comics. So you'll be like a room full of silence, and just write about you, because it's the one thing that you can do that nobody else can take away from you. If you write about your life and things in your life, somebody may be able to rip off your material, but they'll never be able to say it with the same conviction that you say it, because it's not true to them. So that's would be my advice. And have fun. You gotta have fun with it.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I was in comedy, I noticed the other comics were extremely hostile. I mean, really, like to a really actionable degree, like really evil, and to one another, and certainly to me. Is that still the case?
I think a lot of them have these big egos.
Yeah.
I think that they think they're God's gift to it, and they're really not. And there's a lot of cliques, and if you're not friends with this person, and oh, well, I have a show, so I'm going to put you on my show. So I feel like in comedy, it doesn't matter how good you are. It matters who you know and who you're friends with, and it really is irrelevant how good you are.
So it's very political.
Yeah, 100%. I have a love-hate relationship with comedy.
Doesn't every comic, because it's really
it's
trying and weird and
yeah, and so like.
So are you cultivating the right people or what?
No, I'm not. I do my own thing, You're
obviously doing very well because you've won those 2 prizes.
Yeah, and I take a lot of pride in the things that I do because I've done them myself. It wasn't like I did this because I know you. Like
right,
somebody's,
sure.
The tournament in Rockland County that I did, it was 3 rounds. The first round was 5 minutes, the second round was 10, and the third round was 15, and you couldn't use the same material twice.
No, of
course. So I was proud of that. I was like, wait a minute, 15. It's like, I got a lot of material here, and it works. But no, I'm a loner.
Good.
And I like it, and people think that I'm an asshole because I don't come into them like, oh my God, hi, it's so nice to meet you, my name's Tom. I don't do that. I don't do it in my real life. I'm not going to fake it.
It's like years ago there was SCTV and they had a fake talk show. There was a comedy troupe, and the Sammy Maudlin show, and they would have people impersonating celebrities doing that. Oh, you're great, you're fabulous. Yeah. And Billy Crystal with his "You look marvelous, darling," But anyway, so now when I was a comic, they told us at Manhattan Punchline, that's where I studied, with Gabe Abels, and hi Gabe, and comedy writing with John Bendel. Hi, John Bendel. That it helped if jokes were all of a piece, in other words, or if, like, you could do 3 jokes about one thing and then segue into a related subject. Is that still the case?
That's what I do. I like to have everything flow. I really like to have transitions in there. I want it to swing like a pendulum. Sometimes it doesn't always do that. When I have like 5 minutes, let's say, sometimes I just want to have fun with it, so it's not as important to me to make it blend, but when I'm doing like 15 or 20, I just want it to be like that. I don't want you to know that I've changed subjects. I just want it seamlessly in there.
Right. Do you get paid?
I get paid sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I'm not.
Yeah, sometimes they're total assholes and they don't pay.
Sometimes they don't pay, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because it's about the work.
It's
right.
about the $10 isn't going to change my life that you're going to give me. Like, I'm not about the short money. You know, if you're supposed to pay me $5,000, we're going to have a bit of a situation.
Yeah,
but the $10, like, if you don't pay me, that's whatever to me.
Yeah. And also it's about the work. Well, we're not getting paid for this.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And it's going to go back to the bar anyway. They're going to pay me the $10. I'm going to spend it at the bar.
And it'll cost you 12 at the
Exactly,
bar.
yeah. So it's okay.
But, so where do you work? How do you find places to work?
I do it the old-fashioned way, I think, because like I said, it's a lot of who you know and networking.
Right.
I literally just find stuff online, and I'm just like pounding the pavement, like sending my tape, hey, I see that you host the show or you book it, I'm interested in a spot, and I send in like a 5-minute tape.
Right.
And it's usually online, and unfortunately, 80% of them never write you back because I'm sure they are flooded.
I guess.
Yeah, so then usually I'll wait a few weeks and then I send a follow-up. And then
Right.
that usually gets more of a reply, like, oh, sorry, like you fell through the cracks and stuff.
They see you're serious.
They see I'm serious, and then because of the material I do, sometimes I'm met with, you're not good for this room because of, you know, you're a little too...
Out there, whatever.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm not like a lot of people. I don't get offended by that because I know that's a fact. I'm not trying to appeal to the masses. I know that's not going to happen. Like, it's like Andrew Dice Clay. You know, not everybody likes Dice, but I love him.
No, but then he segued into being a character actor.
Exactly, yeah, and people say, like, you know, you have a character that nobody else has.
I said that.
Yeah, exactly. So any room that I go into, you're looking at me, and that's all that I need, you know.
Especially given the fact that so many comics go out of their way to seem ordinary in their chinos and their little plaid
They look
shirts.
like they just rolled out of bed.
Isn't that awful?
Sometimes I'm just thinking to myself, it's kind of like a job interview almost.
Exactly.
So look like you respect the stage and the people in it.
Yeah. And, you know, it's...
And I take a piece like out of like rock stars, you know, Steven Tyler, all those guys, they all look like a star.
Exactly.
So I may look at it and I'm trying to build to the star.
And a brand
level.
and a look.
Exactly.
And an instantly recognizable look that when you get your bobblehead figure, they'll know it's you.
Well, I went to see a comedy show up by me at Levity Live, and I ran into an audience member there that saw me 10 months prior to that and goes, oh my God, I remember you because of how I look.
Isn't that great?
And I was like, that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
You may not remember my name, but you're going to remember what I look like.
Well, the old Hollywood studios used to create a look for people.
Yeah.
So they had instant branding. You know?
Yeah. I didn't start with this. This kind of just evolved into this.
No, but it's organic. It's
Yeah.
from your soul, it would seem.
Yeah, yeah.
As opposed to, you know what, I'm going to have long hair, and I'm going to wear black a lot. And
I'm going to say, look at me, look at me.
Right.
It's not, yeah.
Excuse me. Now, okay, what do you say about Jesus that people find offensive?
Well, I say that God's a shitty host because he's got more real estate than anybody in the world, and he don't pay no taxes on it.
Yeah.
Yet when you go over his house, he expects you to put $1 in the box. Like, and then I go in deeper, and I'm like, I say, his accommodations are lackluster. Sitting on wooden benches, you're eating stale crackers, you're drinking cheap wine out of a community cup. And you only get one sip, talk about being a Jew, and people are like, oh no, you can't say that.
Oh God, yes.
And then I push it further, and I say, the last place that I want to be is on my knees at a guy's house that I can't see. Because for all you know, while you're down on your knees praying, God and his kid are running around sticking their invisible holy dicks in your mouth.
There you go.
And then that is just, people are like, you see their faces, they want to laugh. Some of them just like, oh no, I can't believe you just said that. Like I said it. Yeah,
And?
it's comedy. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing. Check your morals at the door. As long as what you're saying is not driven by hate, I feel like it's fair game. Like, I'm not up there spewing racist stuff, and I'm
Well,
not...
Sarah Silverman said, I don't care if you think I'm a racist, but please think of me as thin.
Exactly. Yeah. I actually fell into a situation where some of the crowd thought I was racist at one point because I was in an urban room and the crowd was predominantly black, and they weren't really taking to my material the way I'd like to, and I said, oh, it's getting a little too dark in here, and I was like, and I meant my material.
I know.
And they took it as, and then somebody yelled, you were racist. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
But,
I was like, okay, and then another comic came up and he goes, Tom, that's the one thing you don't say in a black room is it's getting dark in here. I was like, I didn't think before I said it. I was like, it ain't like that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going to go to a comedy club, just don't be an asshole. Just go with it, Maybe you'll get insulted. Maybe you'll be offended. If you don't want that, stay home and watch reruns of I Love Lucy.
Especially the people that sit up front.
Yeah.
And don't laugh.
They want to be part of the show. That's why they're sitting up front.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, this isn't funny. It's like, it's check.
Oh, yeah, some guy once threw a walnut at my eye, but I turned to banter with someone in front and it hit me right here.
Wow.
Yeah, So, I mean, people are real assholes.
Yeah, like in the world we live in where it's so politically correct, everybody's afraid to laugh at anything. And I say some things, and I feel like I say a certain word, and they're drawn to the word, and they're forgetting everything else that I said around it. Like, my marriage was only 6 months, so I say that my ex aborted at 6 months. I'm that abortion. She coat-hangered me out of her life. And people focus on the fact that I said the word abortion. So they're not laughing at anything. He used the word abortion.
Is that a crime?
Exactly. And people are like, oh, it's like, but I'm not making fun of
You're like the abortion comic.
I'm comparing myself to that. I'm not making fun of people. I hate people.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
I hate people.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
Hi, people. No. But anyway, yeah, we've all done stuff that we're sorry we said, and people misconstrue it, and and they take it way more seriously than, I mean, way more. I was at a political meeting 3 days ago, and I said something that was interpreted as racist.
Okay.
What I said was that sometimes people of color jump the turnstile here in Manhattan because they do not have the money for it. And I was pointing out that people of color are often abused by being kept in poverty. But no one got it. Like, that was racist. No, it was not racist,
Well, everybody's just looking for something to complain about.
Apparently.
I think you just see it online all the time, like the Dean Martin song. It's like...
What Dean Martin song?
I think it was Baby, It's Cold Outside, and people were complaining that it's a song about rape. It's like...
And pedophilia. He said baby.
Yeah, it's like... that came out like 50.
Yeah,
like,
my father will wait, but baby, it's cold outside.
Nobody's had an issue with it until
now.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's
It's idiotic.
It's laughable.
Could you give us like a 5-minute set?
Sure.
Okay, and be as offensive as you like.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, go the limit.
I'll do my best. All right, so I know what you guys are thinking. This guy looks like a real swell fella and a hell of a people person. Or a white Snoop Dogg. Or the love child of Jesus and Dave Grohl. Or Chris Angel after his magic career tanked and he's got to suck some dick in the parking lot for crystal meth. I'm recently single and back on the dating scene. Now I know this isn't a rock concert or a school, but if anybody wants to open fire on me and put me out of my misery, I'm all right with that. But I doubt that's going to happen because I look like the guy that does the shooting. You know who should be shot? Reality TV stars. Idiots making idiots rich. I think half of any reality star's pay should go to rehabs or been given to charity. I mean, look at this teen mom shit. First of all, pretty sure they aren't teens anymore. Secondly, nice way to indirectly encourage young girls to become dumpsters with the hopes that maybe if they keep their white trash fetus, they'll end up on TV and get paid. It's like an advanced form of welfare. TV execs are standing there like the Statue of Liberty. Send me your talentless, you're lazy, you're huddled jackasses yearning for exploitation. I was watching that show, My 700-Pound Life, and I don't feel bad for fat people. Not regular ones, the super duper ones. You know who I feel sorry for? They're pallbearers who undoubtedly tear a rotator cuff carrying their Costco-sized casket, or the guy at the crematorium that's got to work overtime because he's got to put you in the oven 6 or 7 times to burn you down enough to fit you in your urn. These are the thoughts that keep me up at night. Another thought that keeps me up, why is dating so expensive? Chicks love flowers, but I don't want to spend my money on something that's going to wither away and die in a few days. It's why I'm not a fan of hospices either, but sometimes you just got to do it. Just like I got to wrap my dick like an Italian grandmother's furniture. Guineas, you know what I'm talking about. We love wrapping our furniture and we love vowels at the end of our last names, but hate them at the end of our cheeses. Manigot, ragot, mozzarella. You never hear anybody trying to order some mut sticks. You ever go to a diner and try to order grilled cheese with fresh Velveeta? You sound like a fucking idiot. And Italians always getting their little mut sticks hard over that fried, gotta mod. Oh man, gotta modify your speech. You ginzo. My fresh mut stick just gabagooled all over your girl's face. And people are into some kinky shit these days. My buddy likes to get golden showers with a little bit of hail. That's when a chick pisses on you and passes a kidney stone at the same time. And fellas, you ever get a hand job so good the chick's nail polish chips off? Ladies, you ever give a hand job so good your nail polish chips off? If you haven't, you gotta step up your game. That way we stop asking for blowjobs. And you ever go down on a chick and it lines up perfectly with what you're listening to or watching on TV? Happened to me. I had Rocky on the DVD player and I'd been down there for a little bit and I started getting tired. But then that fight scene with Apollo came on and that music hit. Should amp me to fuck back up. Then I heard the most marvelous thing I ever heard in the world. It was Mickey telling Rock, down, down, stay down.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I know he was talking to Rock, but I could have sworn he was talking to me. So I did the only thing I knew how to do. I ate that pussy till the bell rang.
Bing.
Ding, ding. And I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I don't like drones. I think we should go back to killing people the old-fashioned way. Using a drone to kill someone's like fucking your girl on her period with a dildo because you didn't want to get no blood on your hands. Thank you.
That was fantastic.
I appreciate it.
That was great. Now, okay, would some people find, I thought that was hilarious. Would some people find that offensive?
100%.
Why?
Because I talked about killing fat people.
Right.
I talked about sex a lot because people say, you know, you don't have to be dirty to be funny, but I'm not trying to be dirty. That's how I talk on the street.
You're talking, listen, you're preaching to a choir.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people would have found a lot of that offensive. And like I said, when I keep going, it just, because people are afraid to laugh. Because if you're sitting in a club and I say something offensive and you laugh, somebody next to you is like, oh my God, like what's wrong with this person? They found that funny. But on the inside, they want to laugh.
Right.
Or you're sitting there and you have a couple and you know the guy wants to laugh, but the girl's giving him those eyes like, you better not fucking laugh at that. I had one lady cover her face with the menu because she was laughing. She didn't want me to say, I was like, put that shit down. I see you laughing.
Oh, Jesus. You know, I mean, this is why people are hermits, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is crazy. This is like, people are so hidebound and just, and you know, in the 1960s, if people had thought that the world today would be this awful, you know, I mean, they wouldn't have sacrificed for their kids. Mm-hmm. They would have drowned them. You know? Because it's like, what is this shit?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's fascism, totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, like political correctness fascism. Mm-hmm. You can't say this, you can't say that.
There's no freedom of speech.
None. And don't you dare light up a cigarette.
Oh, yeah, you can't smoke, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, please, you know.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
No. You really can't.
No,
You know?
that's why comedy's like my soapbox. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, it's the only way, you know?
Yeah.
You have to get beyond the fear and the, oh, I can't say this or I can't say that.
Yeah, I don't care.
So anyway, so okay, so now if you could give a quick thing about how people can become, they have to go to comedy class?
Yeah, comedy. Well, you don't have to, but it helps. It helps a lot.
It helps a lot,
So just to learn the basic fundamentals, like don't leave the mic stand in front of you if you're not using it. Put it behind you, like shit like that.
Right. You said earlier, write about your own life because nobody can steal that from you.
Exactly.
Yeah. And go on the internet to look for places to do a lot of open mic nights.
Yeah, open mics. Yeah.
Practice makes perfect. You learn things by doing that you can't learn in school.
And don't worry if other comics don't laugh at you. It doesn't matter.
Oh, they're going to do that. They're not going to laugh to intimidate you.
Exactly.
So you feel like crap and then they feel, they'll put you down to feel up.
So all their friends can laugh at their own shit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. So how can people contact you if they want to know where you're appearing next or whatever?
You can follow me on Instagram at glamrockpirate, and the same thing with Facebook, facebook.com/glamrockpirate.
And your name is
Tom Paciaffi.
And are you a glam rock pirate? And what does that mean?
I don't know. It's a cool name. People say I kind of look like a pirate, and I like glam rock like Poison and Def Leppard, and so I feel like I should be fronting a band in the '80s instead of doing this.
Well,
I don't know.
great. Well, maybe you were in a previous life.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of things in a previous life.
So there you go. Okay. Any other words of wisdom? We have a minute left.
Just be original. That's it. Be original, be yourself, and fuck everybody else because they don't really matter.
Metaphorically, of course.
Metaphorically. Well, unless you want to have fun.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
But there's a lady over there who's giving you the end. No. There's no audience here, so no. But anyway, okay, so my name is Diana Montford. My guest has been award-winning stand-up comic, Mr. Tom Paciaffi.
Thank you.
Who is, go to Glam Rock Pirate.
Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. And you can see him around in various clubs and on YouTube, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, this show's going on YouTube,
There you
so
go.
I'll see you here. Yeah, and I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. Look, even if no one else loves you, I love you, and maybe Tom loves you too.
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Well, but anyway, and look, relax with the political correctness.
It's bullshit. It sucks, and it's just hindering everybody.
It sucks, and you go home with blue balls because you don't even come. See, I can be.
There you go.
Too. Yeah, I work blue too. But anyway, I'm Diana Montford. This has been the Diana Montford Show. I don't know which camera to look at. I love you a lot, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.